to this moment, but it's still major that I got that done.
That's Big U's son, Diane Henley, and he's disclosing some unsettling family secrets. For years, the Henleys kept quiet while Big U operated the streets like a kingpin. But now that he's facing fraud charges, murder charges, and even connections to Nippy's passing, it appears that the family is finally coming clean about his troubled past. Big U is facing criticism, and his own blood is revealing some startling revelations. Let's talk about the family turmoil while Big U is imprisoned. The hip-hop scene is rocked by the federal government's capture of Eugene Big U Henley Jr., one of the most well-known original artists in Los Angeles, on some serious accusations. We'll get back to this, but let's look at what really happened with Big U. This whole scenario isn't just harming Big U, it's got his entire family, especially his NFL star son, caught up in a storm they never asked for. At 58, Big U is more than just a name in these South Central streets. On the legitimate tip, this cat has been involved in both sides of the industry for decades. He presented himself as a community activist, founded a nonprofit organization that provides youth with development options, and helped start some well-known hip-hop careers, such as the late Nipsey Hussle. On the other hand, the feds claim that this man is the longtime shot caller for one of the most infamous sets in Los Angeles, the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips. The Rolling 60s isn't some small-time crew. We're talking about one of the biggest gangs in Los Angeles, the Rolling Deep, with roughly 1,600 members, formed in 1976 as a clique of Stanley Tookie Williams' West Side Crips. These guys have a reputation that can be summed up by their own saying, "You ain't a rolling 60, you kill a 60." That's straight savage, demonstrating how they keep it cracking both inside and outside the set. Their history is marked by some really grim incidents, such as the 1988 hitting of Karen Toshima, who became lost in some gang crossfire for years. Big U has been posing as this double-life gang boss and community figure who has appeared in documentaries and podcasts about the grandma, claiming that I've changed after my bid narrative, but the boys in blue say that this was all a front for what was really happening behind the scenes in March 2025, when the feds put Big U and 18 other Rollin' 60s members and associates in handcuffs. The Department of Justice's paperwork wasn't joking around, charging Big U with running a whole criminal enterprise involved in various racketeering activities. This isn't just a minor legal hiccup. We're talking serious federal charges that could potentially have Big U imprisoned for life. And trust that the charges didn't end there. By the end of March, Big U was facing a 43-count indictment that included everything from RICO violations to murder, kidnapping, extortion, and wire fraud. Acting U.S. Attorney Joseph McNall remained silent on the counts of embezzlement, people trafficking, and weapons trafficking, saying, as the indictment alleges, Mr. Henley led a criminal enterprise whose conduct ranged from murder to sophisticated fraud. The most outrageous accusation in the entire case concerns the murder of Ron Williams, a young rapper signed to Big U's unique music label, who was discovered dead in Vegas in 2021. The indictment claims that wasn't just any body, rather it was a planned hit over a diss track. Let's examine what allegedly transpired with Rayon Williams, a 21-year-old aspiring rapper who actually had personal ties to Big U. Williams played basketball in high school alongside Dion Henley, the son of Big U, who is currently a member of the Los Angeles Chargers. According to the feds, Williams was contracted to Big U's label, Unique Music, and had been flown to Vegas with tickets and an Airbnb that were covered by the label. With bars that essentially foretold his own destiny, Williams dropped a song, dissing Big U. He spewed out lines like, "the dude that makes some money," and that he might get popped for thinking. It's funny that prosecutors said Big U pulled up on Williams in Vegas after learning about this song. The federal lawsuit claims that the next thing that supposedly popped off is completely cold. After driving Williams to North Las Vegas and giving him several face shots from a .38, Big U and his Cody Sylvester Robinson, also known as Vi, allegedly instructed studio employees to keep their mouths shut and cleaned up the security footage to hide their tracks. They then dumped Williams' body in a ditch off Interstate 15. After Williams was murked, there were social media posts demanding answers from Big U, which he completely twisted, making the entire situation worse. His body was found close to a Nevada landfill approximately 4 miles northeast of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Clark County coroner verified his identity and declared the death to be a homicide from gunshot wounds. Shadonna Brown, the mother of Ron Williams, has never been silent about who she believes did her son dirty. In a statement on TMZ, she said that Big U was the one who killed her son, and that she wants the system to throw the whole book at him. The case became even more heated when it was alleged that Big U first refused to provide his DNA for testing, which forced the police to obtain a warrant. A video that is circulating online contains some serious claims regarding DNA evidence in the case. According to the clip, Big U's DNA was allegedly found on Williams's fingernails, indicating that there was a physical altercation before Williams was smoked.
So they had to send a warrant to get Big U's DNA. You want to take a wild guess whose DNA came back on their son? Big U, Eugene Henley's DNA, came back on her son's fingernail.
However, there are more significant charges outside the murder beef. Big U is accused by the federal government of operating what they refer to as a mafia-like organization from 2010 to March 2025. The indictment calls this organization Big U Enterprise, and it claims that Big U used his position and gang ties to pressure companies and people, including musicians and professional athletes, to check in for protection. Big U is also charged with operating some very major financial frauds. He allegedly filed a fraudulent COVID-19 relief loan application for Unique Music, claiming that his label had made $200,000 in 2019, when in reality it had lost $5,000, disqualifying him from the loan. In addition, he is accused of embezzling money from his charity, Developing Options, which was receiving paper from the mayor's office of Los Angeles through the Grid Foundation, which was partially federally funded, as well as donations from celebrities like Shaq and Draymond Green. The indictment depicts a man who concealed continuous criminal activity by projecting a public persona as a community leader and ex-gang member. After being knocked down, Big U appeared in court with his hands and feet in shackles and was ordered to remain in federal custody until a detention hearing on March 31, 2025. On April 8, 2025, he entered a not guilty plea to all charges in a downtown Los Angeles courthouse, with his trial scheduled for May 20, 2025, before turning himself in. The charges imply that his nonprofit and music endeavors were merely fronts for illegal operations, using his representative to create both clout and fear, boosting his influence and intimidation game. This is the price of being black and trying to help somebody, trying to help your community, and doing what you can. You're just guilty because someone else doesn't like you, Big U said in one of the videos he released, refuting all the accusations and saying they were inspired by racial bias and haters. John Targowski, his attorney, stressed that Big U maintains his innocence and looks forward to a strong defense against these accusations. Operation Draw, a larger assault on gang activity in Los Angeles, includes the case against Big U. Along with Big U, a number of other suspected gang members were apprehended, including Sylvester Robinson, 59, also known as Vi, and Mark Martin, 50, also known as Bear Claw. These individuals are also under investigation. The FBI began the investigation in August 2020, and then concentrated more on Big U's alleged business the following year. This involved several agencies, including the FBI Los Angeles IRS Criminal Investigation and North Las Vegas Police Department, demonstrating how seriously they are taking the matter. When considering the larger picture of Los Angeles gang culture and how community activism and street life can become entangled, we must take into account that the trial, which is scheduled to begin in 2 weeks on May 6, 2025, could have significant ramifications not only for Big U and his co-defendants, but also for gang intervention programs and how people view community leaders in Los Angeles. If found guilty, Big U could face life in prison, while his alleged accomplices, Robinson and Martin, could face up to 20 years. The claims made against Big U caused serious concerns to be raised regarding the function of ex-gang members in intervention programs and the difficulties in dealing with gang-related criminality in urban areas. There are rumors circulating about the Nipey hustle connection. Let's move on to the most contentious aspect of this entire story. I have to keep it a stack with you all regarding the rumors and speculation regarding Big U's relationship with Nipsey Hussle and what transpired with Hussle's death. These are merely accusations and rumors, not verified facts, and they aren't included in the official documents against Big U. But since the conversation has been going around the internet and in the streets, we need to address what people are saying. Armis, born Nipey Hussle. Joseph Asgidam, a well-known rapper and community hustler, was tragically shot dead on March 31, 2019, outside of his store, the Marathon Clothing, in Hyde Park, Louisiana. The official investigation determined that Eric, R. Holder Jr., was responsible for the shooting, and he was found guilty and given a 60-year to life sentence. It was reported that Holder and Hussle had a personal feud. Big U and Nipey had a crazy past together, and multiple sources confirm that Big U helped put Nipey on the map around 2008, essentially acting as his manager when Nip was first emerging. This connection is confirmed in a video where Dion Henley, Big U's son, discusses his own relationship with.
It meant a lot to me, this community, to a lot of people far, how much Nipsey has played a role in a lot of people's lives just with the inspiration he provided through his music. Me, I knew Nipsey since I was EA high. My dad was actually his first manager. While I was in the backyard doing football drills, Nipsey was downstairs making music.
However, like the majority of business partnerships in the sector, Big U and Nipey's relationship wasn't always stable. Rumor has it that their relationship soured due to a disagreement regarding equipment at Big U's shop, which prompted Nipey to release a diss track. It seems that Big U attempted to discipline Nipey for the song, but Nipey's brother Black Sam intervened to stop the conflict from getting worse, and they eventually ended it. Nevertheless, there have been rumors that Big U may have been involved in planning Hussle's murder. These claims have been made primarily by female rapper SKG, a former death row artist who has been claiming in interviews that Big U was behind it all, claiming he terrorized the Crenshaw community and was on some violent stuff. It's crucial to remember that Big U has openly rejected any involvement in these claims, particularly in a 2021 interview on Drink Champs where he stated unequivocally, "We ain't got no beef." One of the most vocal proponents of these conspiracy claims has been Charleston White, a contentious individual renowned for his outrageous hot takes in multiple videos, who addressed the rumors and emphasized that there was no issue with Hussle. In the rolling 60s, White has openly blamed Big U for Nipey's passing. Take a look at some of his claims.
Out of the studio and wasn't paying that $20,000 to Big U no more. Nigga, everybody know that.
Nipsey Hussle got smart and say, nigga, I don't want to pay you $20,000.
White even asserts that records of disputes between Big U and Nipey's family prior to the murder exist.
All that's a police report, homie, where Black Sam had to pull a pistol out on Big U before Nip got killed.
I must stress that these are some serious accusations with no official support. The RICO case against Big U, which charged him with Williams' murder, does not include any charges related to Hussle's death. Eric Holder was found guilty of the murder, and there is no official evidence linking Big U to the crime. Regardless of the veracity of the allegations, Big U discusses in a video how the rumors impacted his paper and business following Nipey's passing.
$3 million that Kanye West gave us.
Wow.
And then I had like a bunch of other different contracts. And for a nonprofit, we were really thriving. Then Nipsey gets killed. Well, after Nipsey get killed, then the rumor goes out, Big U has something to do with it. We lost everything.
You lost all those?
Everyone, I tell you everything.
Wow.
Kanye stopped answering the phone.
Whether the accusations are true or not, they have become part of the story about Big U and have influenced how people perceive his character and actions when considering the wider picture. These rumors highlight the complicated and frequently shady relationship between hip-hop business in Los Angeles. The entertainment industry's intersection with street life creates situations where personal beefs, business disputes, and gang politics can get dangerously mixed up. What we see is a man living two lives: the business side of the music industry, the community-focused world of nonprofit work, and the street life of gangbanging. This type of double life is common in places where gang culture is pervasive, but it creates intricate dynamics that can be challenging to unravel. In the music industry, there is frequently a delicate balance between respect, money, and influence. And when that balance is upset, conflicts can arise. In Nipsey Hussle's case, his increasing success and fame may have changed the power dynamics in ways that caused tension, though it is unclear whether this was a factor in his death. The rumors surrounding him also raise concerns about how power moves within gangs. It's evident that these rumors have seriously hurt Big U's reputation prior to the present federal accusations. The accusations regarding Hussle's death and the specific charges surrounding Williams's murder paint a picture of a man who allegedly uses violence to maintain control and punish those who challenge his authority. But we must keep in mind that accusations in our legal system are not the same as guilt. Although the rumors about Nipsey Hussle have persisted, no charges have been brought against him, and the official version of his death names Eric Holder as the only shooter. Nevertheless, the Williams case is currently proceeding through the courts, and Big U will have his chance to defend himself against those particular charges. The disparity between Big U's public persona as a community organizer and the accusations made against him draws attention to a typical occurrence in neighborhoods where gang violence is prevalent. The complicated role of OGs, or older gang members, who may make the switch to community service. While many of them sincerely change and use their knowledge to help the young people avoid the pitfalls they fell into, there are also instances where the change isn't total, and old behavioral patterns continue to exist behind a facade of legitimacy. This dichotomy contributes to the intrigue and concern of Big U's argument. Was he, as prosecutors allege, operating a criminal operation under a guise of respectability, or was he actually a repentant gang member utilizing his power for good? While we wait to see how the trial unfolds, it's important to consider the larger issues at hand, such as the ongoing problem of gang violence in urban communities, the role of music and entertainment in providing pathways out of that life, and the complex interplay of power, money, and influence in these contexts. In the meantime, the hip-hop community and residents of South Los Angeles are left to process the implications of these allegations for many young people who looked up to figures like Big U as examples of getting out of the game and finding success after gang life. Regardless of how it ends, the Big U narrative provides us with a glimpse into these relationships and the human consequences that might arise when a trial draws near. The streets are aflutter as Big U's trial date, May 20th, 2025, draws near. This isn't just any court case, though. It's positioned to be one of the most well-known gang trials in recent Los Angeles history, with ramifications that will impact hip-hop gang intervention programs in urban areas nationwide. Big U's family is especially struggling as new accusations and charges against him continue to surface. Big U's son, Diane Henley, who was born on November 18, 1999, is one of the most significant family ties in this tale. Despite his father's contentious past, Diane has been paving his own way as a professional football player and is currently earning a spot as a linebacker for the Los Angeles Chargers after being selected in the 2023 NFL Draft. In a video, Diane talks about how he and Nipsey Hussle pursued their dreams under Big U's roof. Diane has managed to establish a successful NFL career, and the father-son bond appears to have been close. Big U supported Diane's football dreams while he was establishing his own music and community service empire.
Is that he's going to be this big rap star, and one day I'll make it to the NFL. Just watch your step. You're good to come down. Once upon a time, this was a studio.
As with many high-profile cases involving figures from the hip-hop world, reactions to Big U's arrest and the charges against him have been mixed, with some writing for Big U and others calling him out for his alleged actions on social media, particularly on platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit. If true, this cold behavior would be especially offensive given the relationship between the families, But it's important to remember that these are allegations and we don't have Big U's side of the story on this particular issue. Some fans persisted in supporting Big U, seeing the accusations as part of a larger trend that targets well-known hip-hop artists. For instance, on X, a user RRK1DY expressed support by writing, "This key new. Big U went down in LA, started to suck as a unit. He'll now free the legend." Another user at the Black Channel questioned the validity of the charges, saying, "The feds have officially come down with murder charges against Big U. They now claim he's on the run. I don't buy anything." They claim that anyone who has made any real money from our cultural property, rap and hip-hop, is subject to arrest, but many others are viewing the charges critically and denouncing Big U's alleged actions on Reddit, especially in the R. Calibanking subreddit. For example, one user commented on Big U's alleged carelessness in discussing criminal activities, saying, "Nigga was moving like Uncle Jerome on P the phone, making it clear he will murder people to the point there were periods in between each word." Another person harshly criticized him for his conduct by calling him Big Useless. Before his arrest, Big U was viewed by many as a success story, but the debate surrounding him goes beyond online talk to include more significant inquiries regarding the role of former gang members in community intervention programs. Someone who had done his share, changed his ways, and was now giving back to his community had his nonprofit, Developing Options, receive funding from the city of Los Angeles and support from celebrities, demonstrating an institutional level of trust in his reform narrative. Now, with the allegations that his community work may have been a front for ongoing criminal activities, there are concerns about the oversight and vetting of such programs. If the charges are confirmed, it would represent not only Big U's failure on a personal level, but also a failure of the mechanisms meant to guarantee that public funds and charitable donations are used appropriately. The case also poses difficult queries regarding atonement and second opportunities. Many gang-affected communities look to ex-gang members who have changed their ways to help end the cycle of violence. These people can offer reliable messages and insights that others just cannot. But how can we be certain that those who are claiming to have changed their ways have actually done so? What happens if someone who has been cited as an example of successful reform is accused of continuing illegal activities all along? If proven, the accusations against Big U would be a betrayal of the legal system as well as the communities he claimed to be helping. They would also increase skepticism about reform initiatives and possibly make it more difficult for genuinely reformed people to earn the trust required to carry out successful community work. The American justice system operates on the principle of innocent until proven guilty, and Big U will have his day in court to defend himself against the charges. His attorney has stated that Big U maintains his innocence and looks forward to vigorously defending himself as the case moves to a trial scheduled to begin on May 20th, here 2025. 5 can expect continued public interest and discussion. The outcome will have implications not just for Big U and his co-defendants, but for gang intervention programs and community activism in Los Angeles and beyond. Regardless of the final verdict, this case highlights the complex relationship between gang culture, the music industry, and community activism. It reminds us of the human cost of gang violence and the challenges of breaking cycles of crime and violence in affected communities, and it raises important questions about trust, redemption, and the responsibilities that come with positions of influence and power as we wait for the trial and its outcome. It's important to consider these larger concerns while keeping in mind the individual lives impacted by this case, from Big U's own family members to Rayon Williams and his distraught family, who must now deal with the fallout from these grave accusations. Regardless of how the case turns out, these are real people going through real pain. Thank you for watching. To view more related content, click on one of the boxes that is currently playing on your screen. If you liked this video,